Hey guys, Jim here from DrinkABeerandPlayAGame. Welcome to episode 2 of Jim Goes Thrifting. So I'm going to start out today at Liberty Thrift. This used to be a chain known as Impact, if you saw the first episode. And just look how big this friggin' store is. It is massive. It is filled to the brim, wall to wall, with old discarded stuff. And just look at this giant ass wall of board games. Now, a lot of it's kid games, or Disney related, or Twilight, or Star Wars. And speaking of Star Wars, here's something I think I had when I was a kid. $6, the Battle for Naboo 3D action game. I have no idea how to play it, but my dad was a huge collector of Star Wars at the time, so I think this is still in their house somewhere. But it's not just all board games and everything like that. We have appliances, we have walking sticks, and we have crutches. So, I'm no medical guy. I don't know what the cost of crutches are, but to me, if you don't have insurance, $5 for a set of crutches, not a bad price. If you're a little desperate, this might be the way to go. And speaking of the way to go, you have a bunch of appliances over here. Some of them actually look like in pretty decent shape. $100 washer and dryer, it's not bad. Or this old gas grill oven. Not tested, and $20. Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to blow up your house, you can do it for $20. And for every game room for a drunk like us, mini fridges. $40, I guess, for basically scratch and dent and really scratched and dented. Yeah, I don't know if that's quite worth it. Over here, though, how about a workbench? Yes, this is the Black & Decker Workmate 550. I don't know anything about workbenches, so I can't tell you if it's a good brand, if it's a good price. $45, ugh, beats me. But what we all came here for, the media, the games. And you want to talk media, look at all of this media. Now the real question is it going to be anything good for games? And behind the counter, not really. Pretty barren, but it does have Chicken Little on the Game Boy Advance, so I guess that's a thing? But here we go. Here are the games, and yeah, it's not a lot of good stuff. The occasional Call of Duty, a bunch of sports games, even the PlayStation 1 games are a bunch of sports games. It's nothing that I have really any interest in. So I wound up moving on over to the electronics section, and you know, I always hope to have some luck like I had with my CDI, and I want to find like a 3DO or a Pioneer Laser Active, something that people just discard and think is an old Laserdisc player or a DVD player that no one cares about. But I found a toaster for $6, and then, hey, it works! Yeah! Moving on. This old plug-in heater. My parents had so many of these growing up. Oh, God, it basically heated the whole house because they refused to turn on the heat. Because why would anyone want to do that? But speaking of games, here's something kind of cool. The Wii Fit storage and protection tote for your balance board. The Wii Fit balance board was all the rage at one point. $3. I mean, if you want to take your Wii Fit board somewhere, you could probably buy one while you're here. They're always at these thrift stores. But here's something kind of cool. Never saw this before. It's an EA branded microphone. USB mic, so it had to be for something like Boogie, I'm guessing, or SingStar, or Sing. One of those late 2000s singing games that were like trying to ride that craze that Guitar Hero was. Over here, I always like to check all the random cords, because my dream is to find some GameCube component cables. It's never happened, it's probably not going to happen, but this actually caught my eye, and here's a little tip for the aspiring YouTuber out there. If you need a tripod, hit the thrift stores. And make sure it has the screw-on part at the top. A lot of these are missing that, and that's so important. But for $10, as long as it stands up, that's a great deal for a tripod. Moving on to a different Goodwill from last time. And this is a newer one. They closed down an old one where I used to have a ton of luck. And they opened this one up, and it's got a ton of inventory. And a ton of electronics. Old speakers. Old projectors. Old stereos, old printers, old copiers, fax machines, monitors, friggin' just a little bit of everything over here. Like, I always hope to find that, what's that? The Nuvo, I think? That PlayStation random gaming DVD console thing? I always hope to find that. This caught my eye. A nice little old school camcorder. I have no use for it, but it'll be kind of fun to use for that old school feel. Hey, a $4.49 car stereo CD player. That's such a weird price for a Goodwill. But yeah, like I said, just so many different things. And not the best presentation. Kinda looks like a pile of junk. But maybe there's a diamond in the rough. So I moved on, as I always do, over to the media. And I was surprised by how few games were in this section. CDs and DVDs out the ass, and Dance Dance Revolution on the Wii. Yeah, that's exciting. So there is the glass case, and unfortunately, once again, it's just a bunch of Kinect. It's just a bunch of sports games. Like, there's a random Halo in there. There's some kind of games worth someone checking out if I didn't already have them. But this caught my eye. So remember last episode when I saw the Gravis controllers, or Gravis, however you say that? Well, they had them here. And besides that, you have all the DVDs, you have Leapster out the ass, random electronics, random Blu-rays, random junk. So, struck out at this place. 0 for 2. So I was getting desperate. And this is an old antique shop. But it's kind of like an indoor market antique shop. So there's a bunch of vendors who are in here. And they just line the walls with this pretty good quality old stuff. And it's a lot of stuff that like you're not going to find at your typical flea market or thrift shop. It's actually pretty good quality looking stuff. So for the beer drinkers like me, look at these big ass old whiskey bottles that they have displays of. And of course your Hoegaarden glasses, but yeah, I would never buy drinking glasses from a spot like this. $38 for this whiskey thing? I don't know. I don't know if that's worth it or not, but I can tell you one thing that was not worth the price. So this random vendor at the corner of the store had a PlayStation 2 DualShock controller for $18. What are you, high? Yeah. So, moving on to one of the other many rooms, and this had more toys in there. And eventually, I just see a bunch of kind of cool board games, some cool action figures, and the first gaming thing, really, a Hannah Montana plug and play for $15. But complete. Sealed. Didn't get it, though, because it's a Hannah Montana plug and play. But just looking around, look at all the cool crap that's around here. All these cool old lamps and plates and displays and toys. Ton of old school cars if you're into that kind of thing. Or if you want to get a nice looking little Zippo. I have a Zippo. I used to be a smoker. Light Bright. I loved Light Bright as a kid. My parents still had the one they had for my brother from the 70s. And just all these weird random toys like a hanging Bozo the Clown. I remember Bozo. Do you? I'm old, okay? And look at Riker with that big ass blaster. So going through here, on the episodes of the Power Hour, we talk about this old store that we used to go to that he was like an antique guy and he had a ton of games. This is where he moved. He actually moved locations, but the problem for us is he's never here. So when we were able to go to his store in person, we could just buy in bulk and he would take 10, 15, $20 off the total. It's not like he has amazing prices for his games. They're all basically eBay price, but the guy does have a selection. Like, you look around here and he really does have a little bit of everything, which is really cool to see. Like consoles, like an N64 console, but $75. Yeah. Or an Xbox for $100 with a whole bunch of other stuff with it. Turntables. He has records. PlayStation 2 Slim. I don't have a Slim, but I also don't want to spend $45 on one. And a PSX. I could have used to get when PSX is almost brand new for $20. I never pulled the trigger, and I always regretted that. An old Game Boy for parts for $10. Not a bad price, I guess. And a Super NES for $100. I mean, it'll probably sell with these Corona prices. So I decided to look through the NES games, and Zoda's Revenge. That is basically Star Tropics 2. Sector Z for $12. I really don't know a lot about it. It's not a game that I would ever want to spend more than like $5 on. And then, $10 for, what is that, Revenge of the Flying Dragon or something like that. Again, another one of those meh kind of games. So, me being the guy I always am, I see one of these cool double-sided Atari games, though. and you just never see these around. And I guess $15 isn't a terrible price, but it's also Atari, and unless it's called Hero, it's really not worth anything. So I try not to spend more than a couple bucks on anything Atari related. But, I mean, he's got Sega Genesis, which is up my alley, but I already have all of it. And look at this! Graded comics! Where do you see graded comics at these random stores? Now, he's charging out the ass for them. I mean, the one has, like, this first Banshee was going for $80. The first Firestorm he has for $95. The Suspense one he has for $120. Like, I mean, like I said, he's charging eBay prices, but just the selection here is so cool. So I wound up getting these two games. So, like I said before, if you see Sonic for a reasonable price on the GameCube, no matter what it is, if you see Sonic for a reasonable price, just get it. Or you can buy a creepy Bert and Ernie mask for $20. I mean, yeah, there's something for everyone here. So I actually wound up going back and getting that Shinobi that was in the case as well. So these were my pickups. Once again, the thrift stores kind of swung and a miss on them, but the antique store came to my rescue so I could get some pretty cool things for decent prices. And that'll do it for today, guys. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a comment below with some of your recent thrifting finds, and make sure to hit some of our links below for our other thrifting videos, our video game reviews, our hardware reviews, and we are the home of the Power Hour podcast, which is also on Stitcher, iTunes, and Spotify. Until next time, guys, cheers.